Well, hi there, everyone. Um, my name is Laura Wedemeyer, and I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm a single mom, I'm a widow, a follower of Jesus, and I'm having authentic conversations with great friends. I've crossed paths with amazing people throughout my life, and I am loving this opportunity to introduce some of these friends with you. I'm letting you in on some of the incredible conversations I get to have with pretty amazing people who I feel have a lot to say. And my hope is that these conversations will spur the light of God into the cracks of our lives and begin to bring freedom and healing where it's needed. Authenticity is a core value for me, and I love the people God has led me to do life with. It's important that we can just be ourselves, be honest, and go after Him in our most authentic ways. So, with that, I'd like to introduce Julia Warner to you. She's married to Roy, and together they have four sons and one granddaughter. She's the owner of Wild Iris Wellness, where she does craniosacral work. So let's see if we can get Julia on here. I'll admit her, as they say. um, Here she comes. All right, Julia.
Yes. Geez, hold
I
on. I guess I would need to put my camera on.
There you are. Hi,
Hi.
yay. I just introduced you to the world.
Oh,
Welcome, welcome.
I
And
rolled.
and I just was saying that you're the owner of Wild Iris Wellness here in Reading, which is, would you, how would you describe that center? I guess I'll call it a center.
Well, it's me.
That's good. I love that.
It's what I named my business.
Oh,
And um, and I do have, like, within my office, I have some other massage therapists working in my space. They're not part
right.
of my wellness center. I th I think I created a wellness center because I had a vision of a lot of people working together to bring health and
Oh,
wellness to people.
yeah.
So I wanted to just set it up that way in case that's the way the Lord went, but we'll
Yeah.
see. But right now it's me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you do craniosacral work. That's your tent making and your ministry. What does that mean exactly?
So craniosacral is it's a modality of body work, and it is a very gentle modality. And when I say modality, it's just kind of one of the many ways that we bring healing to people through working with your body. There's massage therapy, there's deep tissue, and most people are familiar with that. There's
Yeah.
facial release is another thing I do, and it's working with the soft
Mm.
tissue. Um, Around all the organs, around your muscles. And I mean, I could to spend an hour talking about
I
that.
know. We might have to do that one day.
Yeah. So in short, cranial sacral work is working with the soft tissue that's around your nervous system and including your brain, all your nerves, from your head to to the bottom of your spine. And what it does is it allows, with gentle touch, it's allowing the body to heal itself, to let go of restrictions, let go of trauma, let go of things that might be creating a problem
Wow.
in your body, in your
Yeah.
system, that actually goes out to your whole body. Your nervous system runs everything in your body.
Right.
And so if there's a problem there, if there's a restriction, if there's a trauma, if there's a guarding or a holding, um, it can affect the rest of you. And so what cranial sacral work does, and what I love about it, and why I am so attuned with it, is because it's really laying on of hands, and it's supporting your
Wow.
body
Yeah.
in helping itself. And
Yeah.
and you feel, you have a real sense of touch of, and the body responds to the touch and starts
Yes, yeah,
things.
and I have felt it myself. And
Yeah.
this isn't the purpose of our meeting for today, but I would just say that Julia is such a gift to this area that we live in, and so many people love you and love what you do and are getting healing from trauma. And I think you just told me that you are starting to work with babies or young
Yeah.
ones as well.
Yes, I am starting to bring in some babies, some small children. I think I see there is such a great need for to work with the little ones because you can
Yeah.
change a life by correcting some things early on, that will haunt them the rest of their lives if they don't get addressed. And so I'm thinking I would love to get my hands on the little ones, and just help them feel better in their bodies, help their bodies work better, and start making them feel safe because so much of what I find that my work does is it brings safety to people's bodies and spirits and souls that they can't seem to find. Um, so I don't know how. I think I just my biggest love is to help bring safety because I needed it. It changed my life. That's why I started doing this work. Is I needed safety. I was a very dysregulated, um, very anxiety-ridden person, and to have someone lay hands on me and bring that safety into my body was life-changing. So
Oh,
I really want to bring that to other people.
I wonder if what you're dealing with babies has something to do also with the birth canal and how they are delivered sometimes,
Yes,
or
yes,
traumatic births, or maybe just in the time that they're in the womb,
yes. It's all
because
that.
it's registered in their memory, in the memory of their body and their cells and all that interesting stuff. That
No,
anyway, well, I would love to talk to you more about that sometime, but I brought you on today because, and thank you for being willing to
yeah.
come.
Thanks for asking me.
Yeah, I just love you, and you're such a dear friend. And Julia has taught me so much just as a friend. I think of you as someone who is, um, you don't have a capacity for stagnation. In your walk with the Lord, it feels like He is always growing and changing you. And I love that. It makes me hungry to grow and to change. And He's always bringing you like to a place of being just even closer to Him. And it's so dear to me whenever you share with me that you've had another breakthrough and you're feeling closer to Him. And so recently, you and I were talking, and I think it's interesting that we're coming up on Easter, that we're having this conversation because Easter is all about the cross and the resurrection and who Jesus is in our lives and why he died on the cross and what that all means. Like the umbrella of that it is the gospel. And so
Mhm.
you and I were talking about what is the gospel? And you were saying to me that in recent weeks or months, well, I'll let you tell your story. For years, you've been asking the Lord to give you revelation about that because it just wasn't sinking in, so to speak. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to give you the opportunity to explain a little bit about what we were talking about, what you were sharing with me about not really having a grasp on really the core of our faith, which is the gospel. So tell me where you were at these last several years.
Yeah. I was raised Catholic. I've always kind of been in the church. I went from Catholic to Free Methodist to, I feel like I've been in every denomination.
Okay.
Team.
Wow.
Working with God, and he just keeps pulling my heart. But I remember, like, I think it was around 15 years ago. We were in a church, my husband and I, and just going along, doing our Bible study, going to church and raising my kids. And for some reason, my husband really wanted to go to India. And
Wow.
he was invited to go to India on a mission trip, and we had never done anything like that. And he wasn't going without me. Let me just tell you, I was scared to death. I
Oh,
I was one of the most fearful people I think I knew.
oh, wow.
So I just kind of sucked it up and went, and it was a life-changing event. But I think
Mm,
the biggest thing I came home with was, we were we were sharing the gospel with people in India who, if they received Christ, it put them in harm's way. It put
mm,
their lives in danger. It
yeah.
families threw them out, and I asked myself, I thought, well, what's worth all that? And I
Mm,
had to really take a look, and I realized I didn't understand the gospel. I'd been in the church,
wow.
I said the prayer, I knew I had Jesus in my heart,
Yeah.
but I didn't know the value of it, to be honest with you. I didn't totally understand it. And I'm embarrassed to say that because as a believer, this is the foundation of our faith. But I realized I was kind of just in a religion because it
Yeah.
was, you know, I knew I wanted God, but I just couldn't wrap my head around what he did on the cross.
Right. Well,
And
it is so huge.
yeah,
And you don't need to be embarrassed because I think part of the reason why we're talking today is because there's probably a lot of people that can relate to what you're saying, that they've accepted Christ, but they can't really put into words what
right.
they've put their faith in. Or so yeah, go ahead, keep going.
No, no, that's good. I realized I didn't know how to share the gospel.
Oh,
How
yeah.
can you evangelize if you don't know what you have? If you don't understand even how to explain it to someone, or, you know,
Hmm.
and it's been like this two-pronged thing. It's like, yes, Jesus in my heart. I get that. Jesus in my heart.
Yeah.
And there's the whole cross thing.
Yeah.
He died for my sins, and I was asking questions like, well, why did he have to die for my sin?
Right.
What is the sacrifice about? I mean, it says, I kept getting answers like, well, blood is required, but why? Why is that a
Mm.
requirement? I don't understand.
Mm.
No matter how hard I tried to look at it and think about it, and dying, we died with Christ. The scriptures say we died with Christ.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
I know,
I
right?
just I can't wrap my head around it.
Yes.
Therefore, I can't. How can I give that to someone?
Right. How can I explain it
Explain
to
it.
anyone
How?
else?
And anyone outside the church would have no grid for this, in my opinion. I mean, what do you mean? You know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and I've wanted to own it. I've wanted to really understand what I believe in. And it has eluded me. I came back from that trip so hungry,
Mm.
so so with my eyes open to what I didn't have and didn't understand, didn't know. That I got into the Gospels. I just read them over and over, looking for the gospel,
Wow.
looking
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
the verbiage I could use
Yeah.
to give the gospel to someone. And it's here and there. It's elusive.
Mm-hmm.
There's not this is the gospel. This is, it's not
Right.
in there. And I kept looking for it, and I kept getting an idea of what it was. And then it would elude me. It would fall away. And I, I felt like I had this big block, like this, there was this
Oh,
block, like
yes.
me
Yes. Yes.
understanding it.
Yeah.
Very frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
But it just made me hungrier. I thought, I've got to get this. I've got it. Maybe if I go to Bible college, maybe I'll get it then.
Mm-hmm.
Has been my thought. And so here I am. I came up, I went to ministry school, and
Yeah.
I've been serving in my church up here for a long time. I'm in
Yes.
roles, and I'm embarrassed to say I still haven't had it.
There's this piece that's just like eluding to itself, or it's just like
Yes,
hiding or something. You're
yes.
doing all this stuff, it's going
I
on
know.
for years, and there's
And it's
this
not, yeah,
nagging thing.
this thing. And it's not that I don't feel close to God.
Right. Well, for sure. I know that about you.
And I know what his
Yeah.
presence feels like. All of that. But I'm like, Lord, can you explain this to me so that I can fully embrace you and what you did
Yeah.
and fully be thankful and grateful? Because that's the other thing is like, I want to be thankful for what he did, but I don't understand
Yes.
what he did, you know? And so even that eludes me, my ability to fully feel like I can embrace and fall in worship and uh,
Yes.
for the great thing that he's done. And so I've been seeking it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and so recently things I've been getting what I feel like is some answers.
Woo!
I know,
Yay!
finally. Thank you.
Breakthrough. Yeah. So,
So,
do you have like a place or a point where you felt like there was a shift or something
yeah,
happened that led you to start getting some understanding?
yeah, I shared this with you the other day. The only way I can pinpoint what shifted for me was I was in one of those kind of like in between places, not knowing what to read or, what part of the Bible to read, just in my time with the Lord. Um, and I just happened upon this book on my bookshelf on humility by Mike
Mm.
Anderson. And I thought, oh, this is always a good subject, you know. And I started reading it, and it started really touching my heart in a way. Um, it was just where I needed to be, and it started convicting me of some things in such a beautiful way. But it was looking at my pride and looking at the humility of Christ.
Wow.
It really focused on the humility of Christ to have come down
Hmm.
and to have lived a life here and then to have died,
Hmm.
laying it all aside, not for his own
Yeah.
popularity, for to make, not for no selfish reasons other than to um, than to do something for all mankind, you know, for the love of God. And
Mm.
uh, I started seeing something different, but it also was convicting me of where I was in my heart and the subtle pride that I live in, and it started leading me to, but what was beautiful in the past when I would read things like that and feel convicted, I would try to fix myself.
Okay.
I would feel
Yeah.
like, oh, I've got pride. I need to be more humble, you know.
Okay, here we go.
I need to be more humble. And I just know that I just know I can't on my own. And I think that's what I've been learning. And what that book really opened up to me was the fact that I can't make myself humble.
Mm.
I can't. Um, there's lots of reasons for pride. I mean, I could analyze away all the reasons why I'm prideful, you know. A lot of it's out of fear, non-trust,
Yeah. Yeah.
to feel valuable, just all of the
Yeah.
human needs that we
Mm.
have. But what I think was the Lord was touching on was the fact that I can't change that in myself.
Mm.
And I started just kind of opening up my heart and asking the Lord um, to change it, you know. And it started putting me in a different place of surrender that I had never been before. I've done a lot
Oh,
of
wow.
surrendering. This was surrendering things and realizing my my weakness and my inability to change my own heart, change my own behavior, change.
Yeah.
I mean, it only lasts so long because everything we do comes from our heart and our belief system and how and
Mm.
our behaviors will come out of that. Even if we try to change our behavior, really in our hearts is going to be displayed in what we do, say, and think. And so I can't change that. And I think the Bible even says that only God can change a man's heart.
Mm-hmm.
And so I realized I can't be humble. I don't know how. So I asked him to start changing me. And and I would lay there. I started just doing this, feeling drawn into being still and just
Mm.
going through this almost this exercise of coming before him and not even knowing how to identify everything in me that needed to be changed. I just kind of surrendered it all to him, my heart, my thoughts, my pride, just giving it to him, asking him to do it. I can't do this, and then I would give him my children. And then morning after morning, I would start just continuing to open my heart up to the fact I can't change myself and only God can change me.
Wow. Yeah.
And then um, I I got done with that humility book and went on to Andrew Murray.
Oh, good. Good. I love him. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just in love with Andrew Murray now because
Oh,
he has a way of writing that kind of just keeps leading you into encounter with God and
yeah.
putting you into that posture exactly where the God thoughts has been leading me. And so I'm going through humility with Andrew Murray and doing the same,
Okay.
opening my heart to God. But at the same time, I discovered this book,
Oh, what's
and there's
that
nothing.
one?
This is
He,
called Keep the Blood Warm. It's by Peter Lewis. It's not on the top seller list at all. It was someone recommended it to me. They had gone to this local church in Texas, and I guess this guy wrote it. One of the people in that church wrote it, so it's a real local book.
mm-hmm.
And there's nothing super special about it other than he just he just suggests that he gives you two scriptures every day, and it's all about the blood of Jesus Christ and what he did on the cross.
Oh,
And then he invites you to meditate on them.
like a devotional?
It's a devotional, but
Okay.
all the devotion is it's two scriptures, and then he writes a little something about those two scriptures. But he encourages you to just meditate on them, and meditate can what I've learned from the Lord about meditating on scripture is it's saying it slowly, it's thinking about it, it's writing it down. That's been kind of just letting it kind of settle into you
Yeah.
in a way. Because here's what I found in this exercise.
Yes.
As I was meditating on these, I would meditate on it for a couple of minutes. My brain would think on it, and then all of a sudden, the peace of God would come on me, and I'd just lay in the stillness of it.
Oh.
And these scriptures started coming to life for me, but they weren't coming to life in my brain.
Mm.
They weren't in my thought life. Something was stirring in my spirit and in my heart and in my soul that was nourishing me that I still can't explain it. I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
All I know is I'm understanding the gospel. I'm
Mm.
feeling I'm feeling the crucifixion in my heart
Wow.
in ways I never have before. I still don't have words for it
Mm-hmm.
because I'm realizing that you don't get scripture into you through your brain,
Mm.
through thinking it through logicalizing it, through
Mm-hmm.
having it make sense to my mind because it's a spiritual truth and my brain is natural.
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't understand spiritual truth. So um, it can't grasp it, it can't translate it, it can't.
Yeah.
This truth has to come through your spirit. Your spirit grasps it. Your soul gets nourished by it. That's what it just felt like. It was so nourishing me in a way I can't describe, other than I would come out of these times feeling fed, feeling like, when you have a vitamin you've been deficient in for a long time and you start taking it, or
Yeah.
eating a food that
Hmm.
you were so
Yes.
deficient in,
Yeah.
how your body kind of has that buzz.
Wake up. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, that's how it was it's been feeling for me. It's like, oh,
Wow.
this is what I've needed. This this is it. And
Mm.
I don't really understand. I still don't understand so much. I'm working my second time through this book, but I'm not so much worrying about ever understanding it with my mind, because I
Mhm.
believe that when as he's opening me it up inside of me, that really probably anything I'd say to someone is going to carry the power of the gospel, because I have it in me. And it's the words of life that actually save a soul,
Right.
Spirit saves the soul. And
I think everybody along with me is probably just dumbfounded that you would get the revelation you've been asking for by God sort of doing a surgery on you and saying, I can't really get through to you until you're in a place of humility that you've not understood before.
yeah,
And like the revelation came after that, like you were able to posture your heart to receive from Him. But
yeah,
He went kind of in through a back door. He went in a way that we wouldn't logically, like you said,
yeah,
think about how can I understand the gospel. It wasn't, but now that you're saying it, it is such a profound truth that to get to the heart of God, there is a door called humility by which when you enter through, you're going to find out who He really is and what it meant for Him to send His Son.
yeah. Yeah, as you're talking and I'm hearing you say that, I'm going, yeah, it is. It's like I had to put away everything that I've believed about how to learn things, who God is. I had
Yeah.
to actually put all that aside and open myself up to let Him teach me. And then I had to, and in so doing, and in entering actually the humility of Christ, He laid everything aside.
Wow.
And even
Yes.
laying yourself aside altogether.
Yes.
Everything I've learned, everything I know, everything,
Yeah.
to kind of lay that whole part of me aside and totally open up my heart to what the Lord wanted to speak.
Yeah. Didn't you tell me that you had a dream that was about that? Like where you had to, it was like a suitcase dream or something?
And having these dreams about my belongings being taken,
Oh,
like
yeah. The things you owned and
all my
had.
things I own, my garage of stuff was all taken away in a day, and my suitcase of all my essential things, all my essential things that I carry with me when I travel, got stolen,
Oh,
and
right. Okay. I remember that now. And
and I
didn't it
got
make you
so
mad? It
angry. I got
made
so
you
mad.
mad in your dream. Yeah.
Yes,
But
I
what
got.
did it mean to you?
I just, I don't really have a real clear picture, other than the gist I get is that I have to let go of a few things in order for me to need something new. It's like if
Yeah.
the suitcase in my garage is so full,
Oh, yeah.
there's no room for anything new.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
And the things that were essentials to you are
yeah,
being
are being kind
replaced.
of. replaced. Yeah, and the thing I'm learning about God is that it's not what I think. What I've always believed about who he is and how he works and what he wants from me and how he relates to me and his big vision for the world and for us is not what I thought. Is not. It's so much bigger and it's so outside of my understanding. I mean, I have a human brain, and my only way that I have anything in my brain is because I've seen it, felt it, heard it, seen it.
Right.
And then I categorized it and come up to some conclusions,
Yeah.
right? And that's all here on earth. And, we don't,
Hmm.
and, but he comes with things that are outside of anything I can see, feel, touch,
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
His plan, the spiritual world is not our world.
Right. 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 Right.
you
Right.
know,
Yeah.
and translating spiritual truths, you can't go through your human brain to do it because we have nothing probably here on earth that, I mean, I think Jesus tried so hard
Yeah.
through his parables to try to help
He
us
did. Yeah.
see with what we
Explain it.
see, to understand something we don't have any concept of. But really, I am really learning that it has to come from our spirit, from him through our spirit into our souls, and then our brains sometimes catch up, um but it's
What
not
is
the
it? What does the gospel look like to you now? Do you have any other feelings or thoughts about how it's changed for you?
um so when I think of the gospel now, I feel his love.
Wow.
I can feel his love. um
Which
and I
is what would motivate you to share
yeah,
it.
yeah, I can just feel his love. um
Mm,
and it's not, it's I still have all these other thoughts and human feelings and needs that get in the
yeah.
way, but this thing is starting to build in me. It's infiltrating me with a different thought, a different feeling, a different knowing of of his love that I didn't have before, that I didn't understand before, that I've seen in other people. I've seen people really like they're undone by him,
Yeah.
and I had never really felt that before.
Yeah.
I loved seeing it in people, and I yearned for it.
Yeah.
But I knew I was missing something.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
feel like I'm finally getting that piece,
Yeah.
that the extremity, the expanse, the great love that it took for him to do what he did. I'm starting to grasp it in a way that I can own it and understand it and feel it and move from there.
Yeah. When we were kind of getting down to the end of our time here, but when we were talking the other day, I remember you were telling me that if you were to share the gospel with someone now, or even if you were going to tell some of our listeners now, uh, what it would mean for them to know what Jesus did for them, what sorts of things would you want to communicate with them? What would you want to tell someone who's watching this that maybe is undecided about what they believe or isn't really sure about why Jesus came? What would
Yeah.
you want them to know?
We want them to know that they don't have to understand it.
Mm,
And and but he's the answer to our problems. He is the answer in that he changes us. We don't change ourselves.
mm-hmm.
And just saying yes to the idea that he can, or yes, I'm open to that, Lord. If you're real, you promise he promises to bring everything we need.
Yeah.
Um, the very answer to our souls. longing, answer to depression, answer to sickness, answer,
Yeah.
man's longing in his heart to belong, to be
Yeah.
needed, to be seen, to get out of our addictions and our troubles, to I know one of my biggest human feelings of hopelessness was feeling so stuck. And so having no way out of my circumstance, whether it be a exterior circumstance or an internal circumstance that's keeping me stuck in something I don't know how to get out of. Jesus gets us out of those things. He
Yes.
he does, and I cannot tell you how he does it. I don't understand, but I know he does. And,
Right.
and I know that all it takes is asking him,
Mm.
it, asking him to help,
Yeah.
and then just really opening up your heart, even just this much,
Yeah, just a crack.
the crack. He's
Yeah.
looking for a crack. He's not, you don't have to like do this big, I give you all, that comes actually. I think
Yeah.
that comes as you start experiencing him and tasting the sweetness and the goodness and the and the relief that
Yeah.
you start opening up wider and the trust builds and a relationship
Yeah.
builds. In the beginning, it really is just a crack of
Yeah.
what if it's true?
Yeah.
What if it's true that he can help me? That's all he needs.
Well, I'm just feeling like the Lord would really be honored if you would pray for everybody before we stop, that just something along those lines, whatever's on your heart, for the seeker, the person that's maybe somebody that's in the church that hasn't had the opportunity to give him just the little crack.
Yeah.
Can you pray and I'll agree with you?
Jesus, you're so you're so kind.
Yes, Lord.
You're so kind and you're so surprising,
Yes, Lord.
so out of the box, and you're so in the back door, and you're so
Yes.
you don't work the way we think you work. And I love that about you. So right now I would like to pray for everyone who's listening, um,
Yes, God.
that you would just, as I'm praying, that you would start stirring and moving on
Hmm.
people's hearts. Those who have are believers, non-believers on the fence. God, it's you. It's nothing more than you
Hmm.
that they need. You bring the whole package.
Hmm.
So I pray, Lord, that those who have been desperate and trying for a long time,
Hmm.
that you would bring sweet relief.
Yes, Lord.
I pray for those that are looking at the world right now and can are feeling hopeless, God, that you would drop in hope into their spirits,
Yes, Lord.
would wake up the hope that's in them, waiting to be woken.
Hmm. Thank you, Lord.
I thank you, God, that you have access to everybody's heart,
Yes,
that we just have to say yes and give you a chance.
Lord. Hmm.
So I pray that for everyone who's listening, that you would just say, what if this is true? If there's any possibility,
Yeah.
it's true that Jesus could change my life, change my circumstance, heal my heart,
Yeah.
heal my soul, bring me relief, bring hope back into my life,
Yeah.
healing into my body. If there's any possibility, I say yes.
Yeah.
I
Thank you
thank
so much, Julia. I don't mean to
you.
interrupt, but we're just about to end our time, and I'm so thankful that you would do this today. It was such a blessing, and I can't wait to let everybody hear. And if you have any feedback for Julia or I, or you want to make any comments, please feel free to do that in the comments section. And thank you again, Julia.
Laura.
Happy Easter.
Yeah, you too.
All right.
Appreciate
Love
you.
you, my friend. Bye bye.
Bye.